The second stage of Parramatta's light rail project has finally been given the go-ahead by the government, 7 years after the former government first announced the proposed line, which was meant to start building in 2020. Well, that didn't happen. Now, this is quite fortunate news for BackTracks, as we had already promised a video on light rail stage 2 in the stage 1 video we made a month or so back. Now, if you're not familiar, a new light rail system is being built in Parramatta, a major centre in the western suburbs of Sydney, Australia. Stage 1 is scheduled to open in mid-2024 and trams are currently in test. But in this video, we'll look at the planned route for Stage 2. And because it is BackTracks, we can't help but look back and talk about a former railway line, the Sandown Railway branch line, that will be used for part of Stage 2. I'm Marty, and welcome to BackTracks. Parramatta Light Rail Stage 2 will connect Stage 1 and the Parramatta Central Business District to Sydney Olympic Park via Camellia, Rydalmere, Ermington, Melrose Park and Wentworth Point, ending just in the northern part of Lidcombe. Stage 2 will have 14 stops over a 10-kilometre two-way track with travel times around 37 minutes from Parramatta to the Carter Street precinct via Olympic Park. And along the route, there'll be 4 new bridges, including 2 new Parramatta River crossings and 2 modified bridges. Part of the extension's already built, with a branch from near Rosehill Gardens to the light rail depot. At opening of Stage 1, this won't be used to carry passengers, but will be when Stage 2 opens. And points and a short stub has already been constructed ready for Stage 2. This section of the line follows nearly the exact path of the former Sandown Railway line, which was a short former industrial and passenger railway that opened in 1888 and it was electrified in 1959 and it was closed to passengers in 1991. When it closed, it had 3 quite rustic passenger stations, Hardy's, Goodyear and Sandown. Hardy's was a simple railway station that serviced the James Hardy's Industries factory primarily making asbestos. Now, isn't that back in the news? And last year, the light rail tracks over this old section of railway line was used to store the trams before they were ready to be accepted by the light rail depot. The next station was Goodyear, which serviced the Goodyear tyre factory, and the final platform was Sandown. Passenger services along the Sandown line closed in 1991. And quite a bit of the rail infrastructure, a lot of the tracks, some of the crossing signals are still in existence, but for not much longer because they will be ripped up to be replaced by the light rail line. So let's talk trams. After passing through Parramatta CBD, the first new station is Sandown Boulevard, and it continues along that former reservation and then crosses over the Parramatta River. This is a view back west where you can see the bush and the mangroves where the railway line ended. The tram line then crosses over the Parramatta River right to the west of this pipeline footbridge. The green line indicates where the new alignment will be, crossing on the brand new bridge over the Parramatta River, and then travels east through Eric Primrose Reserve and then onto John Street. And it will cut through where those containers are and right through this park, continuing into the middle distance. And the stop will basically be where the Rydalmere Wharf car park is now, providing a good connection to the wharf. It heads east along South Street, Rydalmere, to the now Will Street stop. And then it continues along South Street to where it crosses over the busy Silverwater Road. From the plans I read, the existing pedestrian bridge will likely be demolished, and what will be built in its place is a brand new bridge to take the tram over Silverwater Road. And the bridge looks like it has a pretty big span of around 42 metres. From there, it will cross over River Road to what is currently a reservation for electricity power lines. And this will be where the new River Road stop will be located. It's a pretty quiet little park here right now. Here is an artist's rendition of what the new River Road stop will look like. Heading east after leaving the stop, it passes over a gully which will have a new bridge built, and then it comes on to Baronia Street, Ermington. And about halfway along is the new stop at Murdoch Street. As we head east after Murdoch Street, things start to get pretty interesting. You can see this building on the right, ahead that says Eastwood on the top. This building, along with everything behind it and to the north on this block, will be demolished, except for one building, which is the Willowmere Heritage Building in the northeast corner. And this will make way for the Atkins Road stop. And the stop includes a turnback facility, which one can imagine will be put to great use getting people from major events at Sydney Olympic Park. The good news, I guess, is most of the cleared land will be eventually a park, and the tram tracks itself will be grass tracks. The line then exits just in front of what we can see of that big tree and now into Hope Street and into a new area that's really being developed into a huge residential precinct called Melrose Park. And I couldn't see how many new apartments are being built there, but it looked like it was pretty large. And then after servicing this area, the line heads back south towards the river along Waratah Street and wraps along what is in effect now just a bike track. You can see that green line and the Waratah Street station as we head south across the new bridge that will go across the Parramatta River to the east of the Ermington boat ramp. It'll be pretty easy to build a stop here because not much will need to be demolished to make way for it. It's pretty flat gradient and we'll go through this boat car park, and you can also see there's some notifications for the light rail that will be built. I think only the toilet block may survive. The line then heads back south of the river, just to the west of the Sydney Olympic Park wharf. You can see Wentworth Point in the distance, and that's quite a large bridge that we build across the river. Not only it will be great for trams, but it'll be great for pedestrians linking the north and the south of the river. Now back on the south side, there are a number of stations: Footbridge Boulevard, Hill Road, Holker Street, Jacaranda Square, Olympic Boulevard, and then ending at the Carter Street precinct. So back at the first stop, the Footbridge Boulevard stop is actually not that close to the ferry wharf, so it will take a bit of a walk to get between the ferry and the tram. Then the line travels, I guess, south-southwest along Hill Road to what will be a stop called the Hill Road stop, and that's already next to quite a number of already built-up large residential developments. Now here the line enters the Olympic Park precinct, and the Olympic car parks, everyone who lives in Sydney will know pretty well. It's P5, where you go along the Holker Street busway. The line then continues north of the showgrounds, right through where the fun fair is of the Easter show. So no idea how the trams will get through that. And after heading east, it's a right and south past a new Jacaranda Square stop in Dawn Fraser Avenue, and then past the Olympic Park Railway Station. And then just a bit further on, as you get to a core stadium, where Tay-Tay is actually playing 4 concerts as I make this video, towards the final stop in Carter Street, Lidcombe, where the line will end. Well, there you have it. A look at Stage 2 of the line, which has finally been approved by the New South Wales Government. And you know what? I think I've probably done enough videos on Parramatta for a little while. So next time we might take a journey out of Sydney and take a look at something further afield. Thanks again to all the information sources, and particularly in this one, Semi-Retired Foamer, for a number of those videos of the old Sandown line. Thank you. I really appreciate you sharing them with us. And to the regular viewers, hopefully we'll see you again soon when we take another look at Australia's lost and found public transport. See you soon.